Ta-da! And welcome everyone to Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah. And Matt, where are you? And he would holler back from across the pond in Spain, actually. I believe he's in Spain. And he would say, I'm in Spain. And I'd say, don't forget to bring me some dirt. Mail me dirt from where you are. And he'd say, okay. He landed safely. He is in Spain. And one of the things that I wanted to do tonight, guys, because ideally, this is supposed to be us going through the days of the week as we prepare for February astrologically. And what's really interesting is there is so little happening astrologically for February that it's almost kind of difficult to walk through much of the week. I'm going to do my best to fill in as much as I can each day on our social media, mostly found on Facebook and Twitter, but you can check those out at paranormalsarah.com or through Odyssey Radio. And with that, I mean, there's just not much other than this big full moon approaching. So we will talk slowly through the day, and I'll take you a little bit through some of the happenings. Hi, Rebel. Hi, John. I know, right? It's lonely without Matt. And so be sure and let him know that. He's always wondering how the show's doing. He's not here. I've moved things around in my office. As you can see, it's always changing. I've got things going out for February. I was making dandelion salve and flaxseed oil and rice water face spray. It's like when people ask about, my curly hair or what I do with it. I'm usually using like coconut oil and flaxseed. And flax seeds, if you get them at the store and boil them in water just lightly for just a little bit, it starts to get like aloe vera, kind of like jelly. And you just strain it, and it's a homemade gel for your hair. And it's no fragranced, and there's a lot of like amino acids and different things in it that'll help if you have like psoriasis, eczema, or dry skin, which this time of year is just really dry, especially here in Minnesota. So I have made up a big old batch to put in the kids' hair for their hair gel and just brushing their hair at night and in the morning and stuff, and to keep in their scalp when they're going between wearing hats and doing winter sports and all that. Keeps the friction and fuzz and bugs at bay. You can put a little peppermint or tea tree oil in it, and it's really, really nice. But anyway, we are going to go through the astrology, and then it might be a short show, just depending on how people go, on how people join us. Callie and Mary, welcome. Carson, welcome. I keep looking over here at my decks because I've got my tarot deck that is sitting here with me that I would like to use, but then I also have a few oracle decks. And I feel like usually it goes against my good judgment. If I have anybody out, I still have Samantha waiting for a mini reading. And so she's my last one to finish. And I hate to ever do free readings when someone else out there is waiting for a paid reading. It's like, it makes my soul feel bad. But just because Matt is out of the country and we are doing things, I want to pop in and I want to be able to give readings, because I know that just with this short February show and the lack of banter, it's going to be difficult without talking your ear off on strange conspiracy theories. So just thought I'd share it. Carson says coconut oil is where it's at. It's not kidding. It's one of those that I'm really, I don't want to say really sensitive to, but my skin is really sensitive to fragrances. So if I go put on a bunch of perfume, or if I walk down the detergent aisle at the grocery store, there's a really good chance I'm going to start to feel lightheaded and my skin's going to feel all itchy and gross. So like soaps, shampoos, hair gels, things like that. It gets really annoying that you put it in your hair and then your hair gets worse. So I often am, not a lot of people know this. But I'm a licensed holistic practitioner. So what the hell does that mean? Like continuing education credits, but mostly just going in and spending 8 weeks of intensive training on ways to cut chemicals from your life. And I mainly did it because I had cancer. In 2004, I had an irregular pap smear come back. And so I started going through these treatments instead of surgery. And I really learned to do like deodorant, salves, lotions, medicines in nature, whether it be ingested or topical, or, just ways to maneuver through nature without depending upon Walmart, and for me, that was really, really an important and special time in my life. And I love that information and knowledge. So with my boys, making detergent, making our own hair gel, or like things like that, it's fun. Does that mean that I won't stop somewhere, especially if we're like, running out the door and I need something, that I'm going to be like, don't buy that? No, that's ridiculous. But if I'm going to spend money on something, I'm pretty picky. If it's something I'm going to use regularly, I'm pretty picky. But I think that that's a good thing. So anyway, welcome. Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, Reb. I'm so glad to see some familiar faces tonight. I'm glad you guys tuned in, knowing, because many of you were here last week, that Matt was going to be out tonight. So if you're new to the show, usually what we are able to do is kind of with both gender, male, female. Don't tell him he's old. He's not. We're pretty much the same age, but he's older than me. So old and young, male and female, East Coast and north of the wall. Like, I feel like we give different perspectives that really allow for discussing astrology. When I started doing work with Matt and like a magical space, really kind of being skeptical about practical magic, his take on astrology and being more objective, I think, was really important to my own skepticism, wanting to be like, hey, working in psychology, seeing patterns of behavior, needing to predict crisis, is it really going to be bad every full moon on every, Friday? Like what's happening that gives me a little bit more of a stronghold of understanding, and maybe a smidgen of control, because I'm a Virgo. And understanding that just really is important to me. It really helps me find comfort in a situation, and that's okay. And so when can I expect those times to happen? And when I have a really emotional day, that I don't just freak out and start being really negative and hurtful and mean to myself, but instead I go, oh, okay. No, this makes sense because, Neptune is in Pisces or whatever. So I think that, that's one of those things. Sorry, my phone's going off. I'm on call. That's one of those things that's important to keep in mind. For me, being objective, having that really sharp measuring and perspective is good. So without further ado, if you're new here, get a piece of paper or put in the chat room, right, Pepper? If you are familiar, that space where you're keeping your predictions, you're writing your stuff down. Maybe you got a notebook, right? Get it out and get ready. I've got my February astrology. I've already got it. And I'm just so upset at how blank the month is. It really is. It's just wild. That's okay. We're going to talk about it. And I don't have, for those of you who know me, it's the end of the month. Today's the last day. So either after this or early tomorrow morning or at some time, I will be kind of meditating and going through the whole month and sending out to my Gypsy Tribe members, those people who sign up for private mentorship with me, and they get access to seeing the whole breakdown. And then each week, Matt and I just kind of beef it up. So I want you, Pepper says, man, I put it on my calendars. This is good. I love that. So let's do this. And Carson, you are amazing for showing up, whether you're tuning in on Odyssey Radio, which again, we do appreciate that. I'm trying to get Rocky, one of the more popular hosts on that channel, to bring me on once a week for like weird news. Because I keep getting banned with my No Man's Land. People keep reporting me. It's very frustrating. So whoever's trolling me out there, you're doing a good job. You've got more energy than me right now, but just wait till the coffee kicks in. Anyway, tomorrow is Wednesday, and that is usually how it starts here on the show for Astrology and Alchemy. That after Tuesday, every Tuesday at 9 p.m., by the way, we have Wednesday. And so tomorrow's going to be February 1st. It's going to be a waxing moon. Okay, I know Matt often will say, who's usually here, the co-host, moon's not a big thing, but I'm a female, which means that I really am affected by the moons and the tides, and also working in social work. I feel like the feelings and the feels and the feels and the empathy and the telepathic intuition and the feels and the tears and the feels and the crying and the water and the spitting in your eye. Mostly because I think as a counselor, you're saying the triggering phrase, tell me, how does that make you feel? Oh yeah. What do you think about that? What do you feel about that? And asking those introspective questions that ask a person to go inward is yin activating, which means it's earth and water activating. And there you are already, a waxing moon, a building moon, like a werewolf twisting in the night. And it's growing with Mars. What? Mars is over there? Yeah. In Gemini. So no planets are in retrograde right now. No major planets are in retrograde. So all of our ancestors would look out to the sky and go, wow, look at everything. Wow. And don't forget, tomorrow's that comet. Whoa, look at everything. And the moon is building. And it's building with fire. It's building with energy. It's building with a battle cry. And the battle cry is going to be two-faced. That's kind of a saucy and fiery place to be, right? It's going to be, and Pepper said, Imbolc, yes. We're going to have all sorts of fun celebrations depending on your spirituality and your religion. I'm using my Dana Carvey fingers. February. Someone had even mentioned to me it is going to be a void moon. And I'll be honest, and the Virgo in me cringes to say, I'm not quite familiar with a void moon. Other than that, I would imagine that it's like void, a lack of, and that it would be like a blank slate, is usually what I'm thinking there. But if anybody, joining us in the chat wants to be exciting, then definitely go check out what is a void moon. That's going to be in that first space here tomorrow. A very impulsive, very action-packed. Pepper in the chat, talkative and spontaneous. Talkative because Gemini is the two-face, and I don't think two-faced as in like nee. I think two-faced as in, well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? I think of those two old puppets that sit up like Siskel and Ebert in the theater with the puppet show. They're very, very friendly, but they are two of a kind, two fingers of the same hand, and they are trying to juxtapose each other, but they still very much are stretched from the same branch of intention. So I would listen to the air, if you're doing divination or prayer or you're asking a question, that foot in the mouth space, you're going to say, hey, universe, give me a sign. And then you're going to turn on the radio and it's, I saw a sign and it opened up my mind. And they're going to be like, wait a minute, I was talking about what I should make for dinner. Like it'll be something that's not 100% clear, or that gives you a different view. And it makes you feel uncertain. It's going to make you feel uncertain, but then everything is going to be on fire. So there's going to be action. There's going to be movement. And if you're looking at, I wish I could split screen it here. And I, here's the deal is I can't. If I was more tech savvy, I would. With looking at the daily breakdown, you know what? Maybe give me a second. Hang on. I might be able to do it if I can figure it out. I was actually really frustrated a little bit today because I was struggling to find. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? I wish the Goblin King would come and take you away right now. Okay. New layout, press shift. Man, this is not the time to be learning. Don't do that, Sarah. Present. Man, should I do it? Should I try and split my screen to kind of show you what it is I'm talking about? No, I'll just wait. I don't want to crash everything. Oh, I should not do this live during a show. The producers are just cringing as they listen to me. Don't do it, Sarah. Don't do it. This Thursday is Groundhog's Day, said Pepper. Is it really? Is it really Groundhog's Day? No way. I guess it is. So we got embolic, followed by embolic. I always think I'm saying imbecile, and so I have to be careful how it rolls off the tongue because, you know, I always see it without an I between the L and the C. Groundhog's Day. I got to put that in my calendar because I don't want to miss it. Okay. So you guys, how do you feel about Wednesday? What do you think is going to happen? We usually make a space for predictions. All of our predictions have been a little too accurate for comfort these days. I mean, down to the deaths. I'm freaky deaconing it out. But I would say that there's going to be continued headlines. I would say the Nancy Pelosi situation where, like, you know, the stuff went quiet on him and that guy with the hammer. And then all of a sudden, everybody from like Joe Rogan to, you know, major networks were carrying the story. And it just so happened to be the exact same, like within 2 days time period, that a bunch of stocks were sold in his family. And then then the stock markets turned to, and so like there were some little waves that were made in ways that you see headlines not reporting one thing, but reporting another. You know, you see just some major situations. You know, we're just seeing some shootings that aren't being shown that I think are, if you can say a shooting is important. The headlines are going one way and not another, or maybe over here and not over there. There's a ping ponging, but it's not. So the way that that's going to pan out for tomorrow, we're going to see. Jacene coming in from Australia. I love my Australian friends. I do. I really do. I can't wait to go there soon. I'm going to go there soon. Mark my words. Okay. Katie says, it's like the Truman Show. It is like the Truman Show. It's very scary. Okay. So on Wednesday, we are going to have the moon in Gemini, Mars in Gemini. You're going to have Uranus and Taurus. He's been there for a while, and that's cool. You're going to have Jupiter in Aries. So the big fireball, gassy guy, the Chris Farley, he's over there partying in the major cardinal sign. So that's just kind of that indication that more shit's going to be on fire. Neptune and Venus. So Neptune is like the cold-hearted bitch out there. Neptune is also themes of delusion, themes of fantasy, kind of coupled with Venus in the constellation of Pisces on the 1st. So that's going to be delusions, fantasies. The romanticism of February will be in full effect. Full effect, especially with the moon kind of waxing towards a Leo, which is always like, gimme, gimme, gimme. It's mine, mine, mine. Me, 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 me. And Saturn and the sun and just the cusp of Pluto all in the sign of Aquarius. So everything, if you're looking at it, is very tipped into one side of our galaxy's constellation. It's like if you're looking out at the sky and it's a big panoramic view, it's like everything is clumped over in one side. It's definitely not an even teeter-totter tomorrow or the start of February. So be ready to feel emotional, a little delusional, ready to fantasize about the things that you're looking forward to with no looking back. No looking back. You hear that? Move along. So kind of be crazy. Thursday, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Don't forget. I almost forgot. And really the only thing happening is there is going to be the moon moving, waxing, moving, waxing, and a moving, growing, which is again females, likely if they're off of their birth control or they're not vaccinated, because we're seeing some correlations there. You're going to see menstruating, the chickens, and all the ordeals with animals not kind of, man, there's some reproduction stuff going on. Just kind of interesting. Who knows? All of this kind of tying into, I know that seems really wild and weird, right? This is why it's best that I have Matt to deter me, is going to be quite emotional on Thursday. It's going to be pretty emotional about just how we feel about our expectations and the things that we're working on and things that we see happening around us. A waxing moon, that menstruation growing, pheromones growing, carnal desires and cravings, male and female, growing, building. So predictions for Groundhog's Day. Is he going to see his shadow? Are we going to have more winter? What's it going to be? I predict he always sees his shadow, and I don't know which means what, but I feel like he always sees his shadow because there's lights on him. Poor Punxsutawney. Is that his name? Punxsutawney Phil? And so I don't know how they're like even determining what's real light or natural light or what. And then he comes out of that little hole in that little suit that they've got him strapped into. Oh, that poor thing. And he either does or does not see his man-made reflection, which we're supposed to be superstitious about. But I would say that like the lore that if you go out on that day and the sun is shining, the likelihood that winter's not done. I don't feel like winter's done. I'm just saying that. That's all I'm going to say. Katie says, yeah, it's been cloudy lately. Pepper says, waxing, we're on Thursday. We're waxing, we're on Thursday. Thursday. Right. Waxing in Cancer. And the sign of Cancer. So that's an emotional, I'm going to kind of pull you can see my blackboard. Usually it was facing the other way. But this has kind of my breakdown of all of the signs and how you can see them as they break down. And man, Cancer, they're going to be emotional. They're going to be emotional. Rebel says, I'm in North Carolina. So go out and find the nearest woolly worm near you and see if it has a lot of black or brown fur. And the more black fur it has, the darker the winter will be. That's just what they say. And the woolly worm, it's a good indication. So yeah, Thursday, I'm not seeing a whole lot of stuff. I'm not feeling a whole lot of movement. But what does that mean? Who knows? That may mean nothing at all. What does it mean? What do you think? How are you feeling? You got any thoughts on that? Anybody in the chat room want to share? How do you guys feel? We never really talk about Sarah's series. It is a teeny tiny little, what does it even mean? We have so many dwarf planets that if we're going to start counting dwarf planets, there's going to be tons of them. Okay. But Ceres is the one that for whatever reason, and I don't know, that's why I really don't like to talk about it, is I don't want to give you information I don't know anything about. But it seems to be a dwarf planet that astrologers and astronomers find to be relevant and argue whether or not that it's in the sign of Taurus, but also whether or not that this is a consistent contribution to human behavior, and all astrological things are. So of course it is, but one that we feel like we want to measure and add to the little group. I don't know. I don't, but I did this week. Why? Because there's just not a whole lot else happening. Usually we have something that we would, mention every day. And I will try and add the breakdown and the shadow rituals and things like that on the social media on Facebook. But Ceres moves. And it was mentioned on enough websites and with enough astrologers as I was kind of talking around today. Because I always do my movements from the Farmer's Almanac. And then I go back and read highlights. Everything from Cosmopolitan to Cafe Astrology. I'm looking at all of them to see what do I find as a correlation if I think there's any truth to it. And then I put what I think is relevant down. And then I meditate on it, and then I expand on it. And series is often something that it's like a sharp note hit in a Beatles song that reminds you what you need to have. It is a really strong, oftentimes indestructible, annoying mark on the wall that you just can't seem to get rid of. And it's almost like an indentation in your soul that oftentimes as it moves, it gives us an indication of something we need to nurture in our life and give some attention to. And that moves a little bit on Friday. So on Friday, we only have one thing happening. And I apologize. I haven't been putting them in the chat room like I usually do. Shame on me. Katie says, man, I need a boring week. Well, get ready because here it is. You've asked for it. Friday. And Rebel wanted to add, all signs pointed to a long, cold winter, and my dog even got her winter coat in. Poor thing is already had a thick fur, and we pushed 70 yesterday. I know, isn't it weird? Kansas City had snow one day and then 70, or not 70, 50 some degrees the next. It was really wild. Okay, so retrograde in Libra. So because every other major planetary thing is not retrograde, meaning that we can see it. Oh, there it is. All of our ancestors are able to look at it and go, oh, there it is. This kind of significantly being retrograde and being in Libra, it's one of the only things on when you're looking at that panoramic view, you've got all of these things. You got the moon, Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, Chiron, Neptune, Venus, Saturn, the sun, Pluto, Mercury, they're all over here. And then boop over here, but behind our vision and behind our view, but back over here, kind of on that teeter-totter, the only thing on the teeter-totter we might add is series. And so there's this fucking splinter in our soul, this thing like insulation under our fingernails that we just cannot seem to figure out. And Libra, they want to I can't speak today, guys. I'm so sorry. I've been taking French and it's really ruining my English. Wow. Then my English just vanished from my brain just then. It was like it completely just left. That idea that it's not an Achilles heel because it's not a strength or a weakness. It's something that bothers you. It's something that makes you, and Libra is like, I think Anubis, the heart, the mind, they're wanting things to even out. They're wanting to have harmony. They're wanting to have balance. They're wanting to discuss things and for things to be fair and just and equal and just to fall into place like a puzzle where all the pieces just freaking fit like they should. And something's not. And it's just not. It's not going to pan out. It's not going to fall the way it should. And it's going to be so annoying. Pepper, and I love Pepper's additions to our astrology and all of you guys. So don't forget to share in the chat room. Expands that, diplomacy is going to be taking a back seat. Yeah. Yeah. And just like me stuttering over my thoughts, words are going to come out wrong. Absolutely. And knowing all of this jam, it's not going to work. It's not going to fit. It's not going to pan. And that, I fear, guys, is going to be tough for a Friday. The first Friday of February, I think it's going to be people wanting to ask out, the person that they've had their eye on, well, I just can't live with myself this year. If I don't do it, it's really been bothering me. I'm going to do it. And then they do it. And it just so happens to be the Friday that is also that person saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it. They go and they cut all their hair off and they've been crying all day in the bathroom, even though it looks great. They're having a midlife crisis. They're shedding trauma. And then they go and somebody hits on them. And it's just going to be like, what? This isn't going to happen the way that I want. It's not going to pan out. It's not going to look the way that you think in your mind. But it is a time of great change. And everybody in this space is going to be going through some major like transformative, the shedding of the shell. Shedding of the shell. Now, Saturday, nothing. What? Saturday the 4th, I'm going to double check. 3, 4. Nope. You got Mercury direct in Capricorn. Sweet. That means people are going to be talking about nothing. It's going to be still pretty quiet and cold. Pluto, planet way back out there about all of our life things, still cold. Capricorn, making investments. Need to buy that house, need to buy that car, need to do this thing, need to sell that, need to make, these things are still in Capricorn, pretty cold. Unemotional, long-term plans, not necessarily a lot of action in the ways that you would like. But then you've got the Sun and Saturn, both really big things. The Sun, our gravitational life force, our motivations, our drive, our ego, our everything you see about a person, in combination with Saturn, the DMV, the quick trip, the car wash on Friday, if you will, of the galaxy. All those rings, like Deep Space Nine, it's where everybody flocks to get their information. And it's like NASCAR. People just go around and around and around and around getting their gas, and you always know what's there and you know what to expect. And Saturn creates those routines, and Saturn's kind of right there in the middle. And the Sun and Saturn are in Aquarius, age of Aquarius, which is emotional discussions, debates, arguments, wanting to cry, wanting to scream, wanting to cry, wanting to sing, wanting to argue, wanting to say, shut up, wanting to taking care of business, working overtime. Look out. Pepper says, yes, that is going to be the way of it. The routines are even going to be emotional. Get your chores done. Make your bed. God dang it. You're going to be feeling that need to show and exhibit what is stable in your life and to keep doing those things. And you're going to be really hard-headed about it. Venus and Neptune still in Pisces. Still feeling really emotional about that relationship, huh? Still feeling really delusional about your relationships, huh? Still feeling delusional about what love is and what connections you have and what, like for me, what my relationship with my stepmom, relationship with my sister, relationship with my dad, relationship with my friends. Like there's so many things that have shifted and changed just from near-death experiences, strokes, long-term care, sickness, COVID, moving out of the city to being a business owner. When things start to shift, so do roles. And Neptune and Venus are right there in a sign of Pisces. That's wishy-washy, watery crap. We don't know how we feel. We don't know how we stand. And things are still moving. So don't expect to feel any solidity there. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So then you move over to Aries, all teeter-totter over here. All over here. Jupiter, it's over there with Aries on fire. That just means that we're feeling a lot. We're thinking a lot. Everything that we're doing in our minds and in our body, a lot. A lot. So that, man, that creates a lot of jam, doesn't it? It's just throwing a little salt on every little wound and on every rim of every margarita. It makes things a little harder and smoother. And Jupiter is on fire in a cardinal sign, a fire cardinal sign. Uranus is in Taurus, but direct, which just means there will be curveballs. The car won't start. The computer will relapse. The phone will break and the pots will get exchanged. The vacuum cleaner is going to get clogged. But things are going to happen. This isn't Mercury retrograde stuff, meaning it's going to blub up your conversations or your work or be anything really big. It's just going to be a stub toe. It's going to force you to see things differently. It's going to be, oh man, I thought I was going to do this. Oh, well, we'll do this. And this ends up being great. Mars in Gemini and the moon in Cancer still on February 4th, but otherwise nothing big happening. But let's go to the 5th, February 5th. What are you doing? It's a Sunday. You guys, this is a big Sunday. It's a big Sunday because, man, hey, Rebel, hey, Dragons, welcome. Hey, Pearly, you're a Taurus, welcome. I love Tauruses. I'm married to a Taurus. Know what I think? Pisces haters can go F themselves. Hey, we don't hate anybody around here. Not any more than anyone else. We hate everyone equally. I'm kidding. Only Pisces. On Sunday, it's a full moon in Leo. Now, what the heck does that mean? I think anytime there's a full moon, you're going to have a rise of human behavior. You're going to have a little bit less inhibition. You're going to feel like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. You feel deeper connections. You feel deeper emotions. You just feel, you know what I mean? I can see the chat. Please call me E. Is it Ian or Ebon or just Ian? I like Ian, but the name says Ebon Pearly in all one name for me, but I'll call you what you want. Ebon. He's like, ah! I like that. Ebon. So the full moon in Leo, who do you know that's a Leo? Who do you know that's that stubborn pride, the lion? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? That is a Leo. That is kind of saucy, always confident, always ready, a little selfish. That's okay. They're a fire sign and they will throw people into the fire. They will throw you under the bus. They will hold you accountable. But they are very loyal. Loyal so much so they'll be jealous if you even look in the other direction. But they're very, very passionate. And they like their group. You know, think of that prideful lion. So the Leo is always going to be in the spotlight. And that is the ray of sunshine in our full moon this coming Sunday. The first big old fat full moon that is going to fall on a weekend space, I feel like, for us to be able to really celebrate. And it's going to be right there with that comet stretching across the sky. We're going to be able to see it. It's going to be lasting for a while, like a week or so, I think. But the best time to see it, they report, is tomorrow into Sunday. So I hope that despite the light pollution of the full moon, that we are also going to be able to see that comet streaking across. And know that that full moon in Leo, if you're looking at the planetary astrology, this is that only time it's opposite the sun and Saturn in Aquarius. So teetering off with and opposing rules, bans. Man, this is a Sunday, so I can't say for certain what's going to happen. What predictions do you guys think in the chat room? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know. That's Sunday. Let's keep moving. Yeah, I know that feeling. The circle of life. Rebel says, I know 2 Leos. One I can tolerate in a small dose, and the other, man, I just want them to go away. Robin said, my youngest is a Leo. My sister is a Leo. She's the Leo in my life, and we often are like the sun to each other's moons. We're very, very different. Very, very different. And we love to hate each other, and we hate to love each other. And she's a Leo. So I associate a lot of, and I'm pretty sure she's a Leo stellium if I did her birth chart, which I haven't, but I would put money on it. Money I don't even have. And yeah. Ebon, usually every Tuesday at 9 p.m., I'm here with my co-host, and we break down every 7 days at a time, the weekly astrology and how to utilize it in human behavior and just predictions of what the F to expect to use it in the breakdown of hermetic intuition, astrology, psychology, parapsychology, physics, how to be a little bit more scientific and skeptical about what to expect in the days ahead. Sometimes we use it for stocks. Hey, sometimes we use it for money. Sometimes we use it for relationships. Who knows? You use it for what you want. But that's what I love about being able to share online, is to see some of the correlations that we find in the chat room and some of the astrologers joining us and people from all over the world. The things that they share in the chat room, I really do feel like it adds a lot of content and value to what I put together in my astrological breakdown for people that join me in a mentorship program. And I love it. So, I'm reading the chat and it's wild. It's wild right now. But yeah, my sister, she wouldn't mind me telling you this because, I mean, she's a Leo, but she legally changed her name to Cat. She has teeth that are permanent cat fangs. And she has a series of cat costumes that she wears out and does cosplay and the whole 10 yards. And she's a Leo. So basically, the weekend of hell, my mom that lives with the scar like Leo will be even worse. Pepper said, man, Leos are extra. They are extra. And I really appreciate it. They are like pop rocks when you thought it was going to be salt. And that's okay. So that's going to be this Sunday. I expect some wild things. I expect some show. I expect the universe to show a little cleavage, if you will. Now, Monday, I don't have anything written down for Monday. I don't have anything significant happening in the astrology. And when you move to Monday, I mean, the moon is still in the same space. Everything is still in the exact same space. Mercury in Capricorn, Saturn and the Sun in Aquarius, Venus and Neptune over in Pisces, Jupiter right there in the fire pit, Uranus and Taurus. Yep, Mars back there in Gemini fighting with himself. And so nothing has changed. Nothing has changed for Monday. So that's kind of an interesting feeling because it's almost going to be like a deja vu, but then the moon is waning on you, meaning that the feelings are draining. It's still there, but it's less. It's like going to a 3-day concert and you're on day Saturday, the second day. It's going to be kind of an interesting. But then on Tuesday, again, not much shifting, not much changing, except for the moon. The moon does finally for Tuesday, February 7th. It'll be a full week and we'll be back here on the show every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Matt will be back from Spain and we will be able to bring it all together and tell you what it's like. And on that day, the only real feeling that we're going to have is a little bit more organization. God help us. Hopefully, we're going to feel a little bit more OCD even. But maybe you're going to have an urge to write a to-do list. It's going to be a waning moon in Virgo. Now, that's my moon sign. So I have done my astrological birth chart. If you have not, shame on you. No. It's no shame. There's no shame there. But you can go do it for free. There's just a myriad of websites out there that you can go do it. Or if you're just lazy or maybe interested in someone doing it for you, Matt and I do a really cool mutual reading. I also do readings, and so does Matt. Like we all do that work, and we would love to work where we will take your birth chart information. We will take your birth chart and walk you through it and read it out in an audio file or a video file. I usually do audio, then that way it's not so huge it crashes your computer or is unable to listen if you're driving. But an audio file you can listen to and you can re-listen to it. And if it's your birth chart, it allows you to kind of gain that information about yourself, learn about yourself, and apply it. For me, Virgo, 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 Virgo. I have my birth chart written right here, and I'll show you so that for any of you guys out there that are like, what? This is like the key. This is the fifth element to who I am as a person. I have all of my family written down. But look, Virgo, 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 Virgo. And then I have fire. Then I have earth. Then I have water. Then I have fire. Then I have fire. Then I have Libra. Then I have Pisces. Then I have Gemini. And so when I write it down, that's 5 earth, 1 water, 1 air, 3 fire. So that's 4/4. So I actually feel quite balanced in that as far as the equation goes. But I want you guys to look at that. And when we say a stellium, when you're saying you've got 4 of something, and then when someone says, what is your sun sign or your rising sign? Well, what's your sign? Man, I'm a Virgo, just Virgo, 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 Virgo. And so when you correlate that down, what does that mean? Well, my sun's Virgo, so I act like a Virgo. My moon's a Virgo, so I feel like a Virgo. My Mercury's a Virgo, so I sing and speak like a Virgo. My Venus is a Virgo, so I'm going to be romantic and have art and all that like a Virgo. But then you've got finally Mars. My will to fight is in a fire sign. So does that mean I'm going to argue with you and step on your toe and punch your face? Hell fucking yes, it is. But then my Jupiter, my expansion is in a Capricorn, which means, it kind of takes a lot to get me super, super worked up. And I'm kind of cold hearted when I'm expanding. So, I mean, you just begin to learn a lot. And for me, working in psychology, especially forensic psychology, man, when I know someone's birth chart, you better believe I can almost do a DA. I mean, I can do almost a full diagnostic assessment, not to mention predictions of your recidivism and probably do kind of a fun profile of what crimes you're likely to commit. It's not only fun, but it's very, very helpful. And I think it's really important for people to know those things. And so I share that because Tuesday on the 7th, it's going to be a waning moon in Virgo. So even though it'll be a waning moon, many people will be feeling drained, a little exhausted, plateaued, stagnant, unmoving, but yet still going through this transition time. So you're going to feel like you're in purgatory, but yet where is the door? Where is the door? Where is the door? This, sorry, my intuition just was playing the song. Down, 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 down. I had a mighty. It's hard to leave when you can't find the door. So yeah, that song just kind of came playing through my brain. But I'm going to feel pretty good. When the moon's in Virgo, I feel good. I feel like, oh man, I can see my six pack through my chub. I can drink my smoothie and vacuum the floor and not feel exhausted. I look in the mirror and I feel good about myself. Like it really does affect me. And I kind of put those days down to know that those are going to be days that I'm excited to look forward to. So what are some of those days for you? If you'd like a astrological breakdown, if you would like a reading, let me know. I'm actually saving up for my trip to Kansas City. I'm going to be going in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And while I'm there, I'll be doing some portrait sessions. If you're interested in photography, I'll be doing some cards over coffee. If you're interested in a mini reading at the Parkville Coffee Shop. And I would really, really, really love to collaborate with you guys or check in with you guys. And I also need gas money because it's not just eggs that are expensive when you're driving across Iowa. So I would love to, if you've just kind of been waiting to give yourself a gift, if you're interested, I'll put up www.paranormalsarah.com, or you can private message me. You can send me an email through that. You can contact me through the website. If you're just really, old school, maybe you just want to contact me through Gmail, the Paranormal Sarah at gmail.com. And you can contact me there as well. And we will work something out. I take Venmo, PayPal. I used to barter, but I don't do that anymore. I'm kidding, but no, I'm not. But anyway, you guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is 50 minutes after, which means for those of you who join us on Odyssey Radio every week at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do hope you will check out all the other amazing shows on the station. Pepper, thank you. I do have the cutest dog on the planet. If you've not seen Balderham, he's behind me on the floor, but I posted him on my social media earlier this week. He's the cutest. He's also a jerk. He's a grumpy old man. And if he's laying on your pillow and you need to make your bed and you need him to get out, he will growl at you and make you feel like a horrible dog owner. Like you need to call Caesar Milan. But anyway, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed the show. I know I missed Matt. Let him know that you missed him. He is in Spain doing international top dog business stuff. But he will be here next week on Astrology and Alchemy with me, your host, Paranormal Sarah, and him, Matthew Slosier. Until next time, guys, I'm probably going to jump on social media a little bit later and do some free mini readings because I can't believe we didn't do them tonight, and I said I might. So I might just hop on over there, and I will see you then. Bye-bye, guys.